How much of a difference does it make to have nice weather like this today? Keep guys looser?
I don't know. We just kind of come out and practice. I'm sure people would, if you could choose, maybe they choose this. But we don't really spend a ton of time talking about that.
3 days in, tell us what you think about how the group's looking so far.
Yeah. Well, the third day means we get to put on shoulder pads, which is welcomed because the spiders, the helmets and the spider pads, it's we work what we call ghost tempo, which is not throwing blocks, try not to contest the ball in the air, so we keep everybody on their feet. Today there's more collisions. Shoulder pads are on, contested balls. So it's more real football because the stuff the first 2 days, a lot of line of sign, technique, which we still need, but the physical part of the game's not the same. So that ramped up today. There's a lot of variables because we got our third install in. So defense has got more calls, offense has got more calls. So inevitably there's some mistakes being made on identification. So we got to be better there. And now it starts to set in where the volume picks up. There's 3 practices in a row, so the stamina is going to show up. And we need guys to continue to grow and get better throughout spring, not just the first 3 days.
Who or what have you seen that you like? That's maybe a surprise or just
great energy, big energy, running. I think guys the pace is very good. They're into practice. There's not a lot of times where we have to remind the guy to get the call, or I think they're very engaged. I think that's probably the word I'm looking for.
Players that are jumping off the...
Yeah, I mean, boy, there'd be a number of guys in the first 3 days that have made some good plays. I don't know if there's one player or position that I would say has stood above the rest. Certain groups, Katie Uave always does what Cade does, so he flashes, of course. It's, the DB group, it's a lot of new faces in there. Offense, I think the receivers made some contested catches today, which is something we've really emphasized. QBs are doing a good job, running backs, O-lines. Jack always seems to catch every ball, so he shows up.
What do you expect out of Cade? Third year now, he's been around a little bit. He's kind of the veteran in the room now.
Yeah. Cade's a very, very good football player. He's got a demeanor fit for football, and I expect him to have a great season. Yeah, Cade's an excellent player.
Is there anything he'll add to what he can do?
Well, I think just the experience of being in your third year in the system, his comfort level. He has he's got very good instincts for the game, and now there's, it's the nuances of playing that position and playing defense that I think those little nuggets that you can pick up that allow him to play that much faster, and he plays fast as it is. He's an explosive player, so it's all the little things at this stage.
None of the QBs are traditional dual threat guys, but how would you characterize the first 3 guys running ability to keep defenses honest?
Yeah, I mean, Devon kept one today on a little boot, and he's plenty fast. Jaron's a good athlete. I don't know what his 40-yard dash time is, but he's athletic enough to pull the ball down and get yards, and same with EJ. So, yeah, I think all those guys are going to be able to do. And they all have strengths and weaknesses, but they all move well enough for sure.
What will you be looking for from those guys? I know that you're no rush to name a starter, obviously. Yeah. A long time between now and first game, but what sort of things are you going to be looking for?
Comfort within the offense, running the offense, getting the ball to the right places at the right time. It's all efficiency, and I think they're all, the mentality is there in terms of how to approach meetings and practice, and they're coming from different places. Obviously, Devon's a college football veteran coming from Ohio State, just won the national championship, and Jaron's coming from high school. EJ's been in college 1 year, so they're just different stages there, but I think they all have the demeanor, and then it's just about, like I said, the mastery of the offense and communication. It's all the intangible quarterback things, and then it's the tangibles of delivering the ball where it needs to go, when it needs to go there.
What do you think out of the cohesion in the offensive line so far through 3 days?
A work in progress. I think that, but you could say that about any position group, even like defensive backs and D-line, and anytime there's changes, it's a work in progress. So we'll continue to, build that throughout spring, and that's going to it'll take summer and fall camp as well.
Fair to say the coach and I sort of brings an edge to that room.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely more competition. It's a very intense room. You go down and watch individual drills, you're going to notice the intensity in that group, and he's very, very demanding, which is exactly what they need and want, and what we want.
What's your timetable on hiring a DC? How's that going?
Well, I don't know if we had talked about this prior, but we have some very good coaches in our defensive staff room. There's guys in that room who are already have and will take on more responsibility on defense. We'll announce some of those changes and titles in due time. Whoever we bring in will supplement that room in a coaching role, and there's some great candidates we're talking to. We just didn't feel the need to rush. Every room's accounted for now, and as I mentioned, the guys that have been in there's some very good football coaches who are ready and will take on more responsibility.
Is this something you may not have done until after spring ball ends?
Well, we'll announce. I mean, we're already functioning in terms of scripting practice. There's guys that have taken on different roles there, installation process. It's really just kind of announcing it. And there's, as I mentioned, there's some guys we're talking to who will supplement that room. And
but you will have a defensive coordinator?
Yeah.
Per se?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making sure I understood.
Yes. Now, it could be one person, it could be split. Yeah.
Devon seems to play with the type of confidence that you're talking about. What do you see as kind of his greatest assets as he comes into
The first thing that jumps out is maturity. He's a very mature guy. A mature person. You talk to him, and when you're talking football with him, he's been around it a long time. You can tell he's been coached very well. He speaks, when you're talking scheme with him, he's a really intelligent guy. Very, very, very intelligent. So I think he's got an edge. He's competitive. And he's still, the language is a little different, but and he's still getting to know everybody and his teammates. But he spends a lot of time in the football office, I'll tell you that.
One more question. Talk about the competition in the secondary. Jayon and Aiden both got in there and mixed a little bit today. How much is that by design? How much is that kind of what they showed you this week?
Both. Yep, both. By design, we wanted to get those guys in there in some competitive situations with, some more veteran competition on offense, and they've also flashed enough in the, it's first thing in the winter workouts you notice, and then it's another thing to come out here and be able to apply the meetings and the walkthroughs to football. But I think both of those guys have shown us enough that we want to keep pushing them, and doesn't mean the light won't go on for other people too, but those guys have done a good job. Still have a long way to go though.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.